My name is Elijah Fundefefer, looks like Van de Vyver, and I play on APK Blue. Technically only been competing for one season, but that season started back in 2022 of October, and I have been competing all the way since then, about to go to the World Championships, which is now April 2024. The first time I heard about World Chase Tag was actually on YouTube, obviously, but it was like almost like right when they first started, because their first video they put out, they included Store in their video, and that's how they got a lot of their like parkour publicity. So I've been following along Chase Tag for almost as long as it's been around. So I'd been wanting to compete ever since I seen it, but I knew that like all the competitions were only in Europe, and then in 2020 they actually came to America, and it was like the first time, and so it was a really big deal. All of the Americans trying to get into it, and they ended up just only really selecting like community leaders and stuff, and people that had a bit more of a following, and then everyone knew them. Being the lonely Midwest kid out in the middle of nowhere, it was a bit hard to get on a team, and so the avenues I had there fell through. And I tried again the next year, and the same thing. Like I made it onto like a team, but they didn't get submitted and they didn't get selected to play. So it was like 2 years of it already falling through, and then APK, the American Parkour teams, opened up a video tryout submission early 2022, and I like knew some people from that, so I submitted and like went and saw them and ended up playing around a bit, and that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. It was pretty disheartening, seeing this competition that like wanted to compete in and just play and try it for, at that point, 3 to 4 years, and then having almost 2 years, 2.5 years in a row of it falling through, not being able to play, was like very disheartening, especially since the U.S. competition only happened once a year. So it was definitely like you only get one slim chance to try it, and then it was kind of gone. The parkour training I've done is very, I don't know, creative and inspired by quite a few different practitioners that aren't really known for super powerful jumps, but they're very technical athletes. And so being very comfortable with awkward foot placement and hand placement really helped me out when transferring my parkour skills to the quad. I was comfortable with bars and comfortable with putting my body in like kind of uncomfortable situations for most. And so I feel like that really helped prepare me for that situation. One of my favorite American athletes I've come to know and become friends with is Sukon Greg from Atlanta Talons. He's by far the best player on their team, just crazy, insane stamina, crazy good skills, really well rounded player. Yeah, so right now there's 4 quads in America, which is the playing arena. It's like a big square arena that looks like a metal scaffold jungle gym. There's 4 places in the US right now that you can train. One's in LA, one's in San Francisco, one's in Pennsylvania, one's in Atlanta. So you have kind of 2 East Coast options, one up north, one south, and then 2 West Coast options. You can potentially get involved as well if you reach out to the Apex Denver crew, because they have an outdoor quad in the owner's backyard. So there's a few options, but the best like way to get your foot in the door is to go to one of those places and try it out for like an open gym or train with some players that have been practicing for a while. You can catch me next either on Instagram or YouTube at Vyver34.